What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream today. We'll be looking at all the latest Arsenal news, including a striker we are looking at to potentially replace Lacazette. We'll be looking at the England squad as well. A couple of Arsenal players are in there. A couple of them have missed out, unfortunately. I want your opinions on that. And we'll be looking at the latest news as we look ahead to the game against Watford on the weekend. People, hit that like button on the way in. If not, smash the living daylights out of it on the way out. Big up to every single one of you legends for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I couldn't record at the usual time of 2 p.m. today. I was at AFTV recording Talk is Cheap, and there was a time clash. So 4 p.m. it is, people. So big up to every one of you for tuning in. Hope you're all well. Man, early, you know what I mean? I want to hear that, you know, because when I'm late, I hear it. So when I'm early and on time, I want to hear it as well. Big up to Sebastian. Hope you're all well. Big up to Harry, Gunnar Vettel, all the usual suspects in here. Big up to every single one of you. Heaven Angel, Craig, Simi, Lone Star, I Am King, Johan, Penalty Spot, all of you people. Daniel, big up to everyone. That guy D, we're in here, people. Right, let's get talking and let's talk about Arsenal. I'm going to put slow mode on from the get-go because I know what's going to happen, people, once the comments start flying in. So let's get Granit Xhaka mode on from now so we know we're sorted, people. Right, let's start off with the England squad, people. The England squad. There was a lot of talk about the England squad today and how many England players would Arsenal have in there. Oz, it's not the new mic yet. Tomorrow the new mic will be sorted. But yeah, how many Arsenal players would be in this England squad? And the answer is 2. And it's probably the 2 that we expected to be in the squad the most. And that is Aaron Ramsdale and Bukayo Saka in the England squad. Now, there was a lot of debate about whether ESR would get into this England squad. And I said, for one, number one, I didn't think he would be selected. And number 2, I felt for Arsenal, it might be better if you wait a little bit. I think Bukayo Saka has suffered a little bit from burnout this season due to playing so many games for Arsenal last season and then playing a lot of football in the Euros as well. So for me, ESR, you know, he has had injury issues in the past. I think just take your time with him. You know, allow him to develop, and eventually we'll get the call up. As you can see here, people, ESR and Ben White are not selected in the England squad. I actually think that Ben White has been ripped off even more than ESR. I said yesterday, for me, ESR would struggle to get in this squad for the simple reason he's playing left wing for Arsenal. Jack Grealish, Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford. Which one of those was he going to take out of the squad? I know Rashford's been injured. Sterling's been out. But Sterling scored yesterday for City. He was England's best attacking player, possibly in the Euros. Rashford's got this big reputation. Grealish, 100 million. The other position was maybe the number 10 role or as an attacking 8. Foden, Mason Mount. I would say at the moment they're ahead of him. In terms of the pecking order. So I didn't expect ESR to be in this squad. I think Ben White could have a bit of an argument. And you know what? You know who else could have an argument is Tomori, man, because Tyrone Mings has been dropped by Aston Villa, still makes the squad. Connor Cody, who I just don't understand what the hype is around Connor Cody. To me, he's an all right centre-back. He heads it. He kicks it. He's experienced. He's nothing special. I don't understand the hype around Connor Cody. You don't see big clubs trying to sign him. You know, I don't get it. I don't get that one. If I'm Tomori and I'm Benjamin White, I'm disappointed that Connor Cody is in this England squad ahead of me. With Tyrone Mings, he may have a bit of an argument because number 1, he's left-footed. Number 2, he played in the Euros and had a very good game. 1 or 2 games, actually, he played. But Connor Cody, I just don't get that one. Really don't get it. Gunnar Vettel said Cody is bang average holding level. I think he's better than holding, but I honestly don't think he's that good at all. I really don't. Penalty Spot said White definitely ahead of Cody. And Connor Cody's an older player as well. Why not get Ben White in there now? Try and push him, give him an opportunity. I don't get it. That guy D said, can't see the Cody hype either. Solid, but that's about it. Bang average. Chris said, no way Cody should be in the squad over White or Tomori. Tomori played Champions League yesterday for AC Milan. Do you know what I mean? This guy finished, second or third in Serie A last season? Tomori? I don't know what Tomori might as well go and play for a different country, man. You know, I don't know what Cody. Sean said Cody got nudes of Southgate. I don't get it. Is there a thing, you know, I've seen a report today that someone wrote. I haven't got it on screen. Saying that for a while there's been this thing with Arsenal that they're English players. It's really hard to get selected when you're an English player playing for Arsenal. You know, it's a strange one. It's a real strange one. Benjamin White has started the season well, playing for Arsenal, big club. Yet a 27, 28-year-old who has not really done much, who plays for Wolves, is getting in the England squad. I don't understand it. The full squad: Sam Johnston, Jordan Pickford, Aaron Ramsdale, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ben Chilwell, Cody, Reece James, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings, Luke Shaw, John Stones, Kyle Walker. I mean, Stones has been on the bench for a while, but I get that one because he had a good Euros, got a good partnership with the Fridge Maguire. South London's finally said Tomori is getting disrespected because he's playing in a foreign league. I definitely think that happens with Southgate. It's almost like if you go and play in a different league, he almost forgets about you. It's a strange one. Tomori should walk into this squad. Bellingham, Henderson, Mount, Phillips, Rice, and Ward-Prowse are the midfield or central midfield options. Tammy Abraham gets in the squad. He's had a bit of a renaissance since he's gone to Roma. Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, and Raheem Sterling. No Jadon Sancho, people. No Jadon Sancho in the England squad. I mean, I always had the impression that Southgate didn't like Sancho anyway, really. But he's got to be sitting there now. The only thing that's improved with Jadon Sancho's career is the amount of money that goes into his bank since going to Manchester United. His reputation has gone down. He doesn't look as sharp, as fit. Is he sitting there regretting that move? You know, Jadon Sancho was rated as possibly the best young winger in Europe, or one of the best young wingers in Europe when he was at Dortmund. He doesn't even get in the England squad now. No Tomori, no Jadon Sancho, no Mason Greenwood again as well. That one for me is a bit of a mad one as well. I think he's a huge prospect and a great talent. Doesn't get in the squad. And we're very short on striker options at the moment, centrally, with Calvert-Lewin being injured. Danny Ings doesn't seem to get picked. No Lingard again. You know, Jesse Lingard goes to West Ham, tears up the place for 6 months. Go and sign for West Ham on a permanent deal, bro. Get yourself in the World Cup squad. You're sitting on Man United's bench. It was a strange decision. Someone asking, is Bellingham in the squad? Bellingham is in the squad, as he should be. What a young talent he is. It was Thomas Conlon. Yeah, Bellingham is in. I think Trinidad might still take Sancho. Why not, man? Caribbean Cup settings. Phillips has had an ish season. Another one picked, but out of form. I think with Phillips, though, it's different, I think, when you've played for England over a long period of time or you've proved yourself. You know, Phillips had a very good Euros next to Declan Rice. So him having a slow 10 games is not the end of the world with him being selected. It's not like England have huge options in the middle of the park. But some of these, for me, you know, Connor Cody, man, that one just doesn't sit right with me, I'm telling you. We're still picking 3 right backs. It's like he can't make his mind up over Walker, James and Trent. Do you need 3 right backs in an England squad? I'm not sure you really do when you consider the opposition we've got coming up. Who would you have picked in this squad? Who do you think... Anthony, I'm on that as well. I would have took Greenwood ahead of Tammy Abraham. I know Tammy's a tall guy and a bit of a target man, but he hasn't got the talent of Mason Greenwood, not even close. You know, imagine if Harry Kane got injured, could we play Tammy Abraham through the middle for a sustained period? I don't think so. I really don't. South London's finest, apparently Big C. Greenwood's dad fell out with Southgate. You can see it. I can imagine. He must be thinking, how is he not getting in the squad? I think Greenwood is genuinely one of England's best young players. Jashar said, big up Curtis. Personally, I'm happy with White and ESR have missed out. It just means they have to raise their levels and be consistent. I don't mind them not being in the squad from a purely selfish point of view, in the fact that I don't want players going and getting injured on international duty. We play Liverpool after the international break. The last thing we can afford is maybe Ben White getting injured and all of a sudden we're playing Pablo Mari or Rob Holding at Anfield. So from a purely selfish point of view of Arsenal, I don't mind that Benjamin White and Smith Rowe aren't in the squad. I think Smith Rowe's got a fair way to go yet. I know Arsenal fans love him, understandably, and I do as well. But I don't think there is an obvious name in that England squad that I look at and I say, I would take him out for Smith Rowe. I think the players playing in Smith Rowe's position are better than him at this current moment. You know, is he better than Sterling, Rashford or Grealish? I would say no. Is he better than Mason Mount or Phil Foden? I would say no. So I think he will get his chance. He should be in the under-21 squad, though. That's the only thing. Anne's big up with the super chat, bro. Said Southgate said it's too early for ESR to come in. So you're telling me it's too early for ESR to face Albania or San Marino? Do us a favour, Gareth. I mean, let's face it. This would have been the easiest opportunity to bring in somebody on the fringes, because when you look at the opposition, no disrespect, especially San Marino, you know, I think AFTV FC could do something against San Marino. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of favouritism when it comes to the England squad. I think that is for absolute certain. Buenos Aires Guna, no faith in Pablo Mari, bro. LOL. Bro, does he still play for Arsenal? I don't know. I don't know. I have not seen him. I haven't seen him since Lukaku put in work, you know. I don't know where he is. Hopefully he comes back. Ice Age said Max Aarons and Tony should play for Jamaica. I said this yesterday. Some of these men have to go and play for the country where their mums and dads and grandparents are from, man. I'm telling you. Don't waste your time. I'm not being funny. If you're Max Aarons now, you're unfortunate because you've walked into a golden generation for England right-backs right now. You've got Kyle Walker there. You've got Trippier, who's not in the squad, who's obviously at Atletico, played yesterday. And you've got Reece James and Trent, who are unbelievable. Max Aarons, mate, go and play for the Reggae Boys from now. Ivan Toney, go and play for the Reggae Boys. You and Antonio up front. You know what I'm saying? They could do bits with that. ESR, if it carries on, man, I heard he's got Jamaican in him as well. Get yourself over there, man. Reggae Boys, 2022 World Cup. Get all these men over. Greenwood as well. I understand Greenwood's from Jamaica, his family. Get all these men over there. Go and play for the Reggae Boys, man. Some of these men aren't going to get a chance. They would be instant legends in Jamaica, I'm telling you. Eze, Nigeria, Hudson-Odoi, Ghana. Hudson-Odoi, another one. Starting for Chelsea, can't get near the England squad. Some of these men need to go and play for other countries, man. I'm telling you. How is Maguire there? Listen, England, well, vice captain, I believe, after Harry Kane. So he's always going to get picked. And listen, you have to be honest. You can't, as crazy as it sounds, you can't always judge a player on club form when it comes to a national team. And I know a lot of people disagree with that. But think back to Miroslav Klose. Do you know the amount of times this guy wasn't doing much at club level? He'd go to the World Cup and all of a sudden go and win the Golden Boot. Harry Maguire, if we're being honest, had a very good Euros for England next to John Stones. Even though he's not looking good for Man United, it's hard to leave him out. Murray is still giving his witness statement for that GBH. I'm telling you, man. Jamaica is not qualifying for the World Cup. They've had a really bad start to the qualifiers. It doesn't look like they're going to make it. So it'll have to be the Caribbean Cup next year, man. Go and win that. That's about it. That guy, having Curry Goat as your favourite qualifies him for Jamaica in my eyes. Aaron Ramsdale, yeah. Get him in there. Ben White is better than Maguire. I think he needs to be judged over a longer period of time for that, I've got to be honest. Even though I'm not a particularly big fan of Maguire at all, he does still have some work on his resume. You know, he had a very, very good Euros under a lot of pressure. So, yeah. Penalty Spot said Pickford is a perfect example of that, Curtis. For Everton, he's bang average, 100%. Pickford, to me, for Everton, sometimes he's that bad, I wouldn't even pick him for England. But the reality is, when you look at him in an England shirt, he's a far better goalkeeper. And it does happen a lot. I'm just going to quickly go through what Gareth Southgate said, just to give you a little bit of context, people, into why some of our Arsenal players in particular are not in the England squad. So Southgate was asked about, I mean, he doesn't even mention Tomori. I don't know what's wrong with that guy, Wade. Southgate said Emile Smith-Rowe, Conor Gallagher and Mark Gay, who plays for Palace, I believe, in particular, are all playing well with their clubs. And to put them in, we'd have to leave some of these on the sheet out. It's not a bad thing that we are getting a strong under-21 team. Basically saying he couldn't get anybody out to bring the likes of ESR in, which is a shame. Endot said Jamaica don't even give Antonio game time. They still class us as English boys. Yeah, man. I used to get that, man, when I trained with the regular boys. Hey, English boy, redskin boy. You know, I used to get all that. You know what I mean? Tapper, the manager, Theodore Whitmore, I think he wants the Jamaican-born players, but I think that's going to work against him because Jamaica are struggling. Kronkayat said, I respect Iwobi chose Nigeria from early. Made the right choice, man, because the way he's playing now, he would not have been getting near the England squad. That is for damn certain. Respectfully, of course. Southgate on Ramsdale said, this is the third squad he has been in. We were impressed in the summer. He has started well at Arsenal, still a small sample of games, and distribution with his feet is a bonus with the way they play at Arsenal. There is a fight on to be number one, and I think there is. I think there is a fight on for him to go and push Jordan Pickford. Like I said, I think it's hard to get Jordan Pickford out the England team because he is good for England. I can't lie. He's a lot better than he is for Everton, probably for the fact that he has a far better defence in front of him. But if I'm Ramsdale now, I'm thinking Qatar World Cup. I want to get this guy out the team. So, yeah, big him up. Smash the likes, people, as well, and subscribe. Nearly 1,000 of you in here already. I appreciate it's a different time, so the numbers may change slightly. But big up to everyone for tuning in. Owen said, the politics in the Jamaican national setup is a lot deeper. It is, man, it is. And, with the players Jamaica have got now, they should be qualifying for the World Cup. I can't lie. They should. James said, shouldn't the national or any team have players who are good and in form? Yeah, you should. But like I said, there are exceptions. Harry Kane is not in good form, really. I think he scored 1 in his last 8 games. You're going to drop Harry Kane? It's not going to happen, is it? Unfortunately. Those rules will only apply to certain players. Southgate says, Ben White, man's not even respecting him enough to call him Benjamin, How dare you, Gareth? The man said his name is Benjamin. Call the man Benjamin. But he says Ben White is starting to settle well now at Arsenal. The centre-backs are all pushing. There is still a step for a lot of them in consistency. They are young defenders learning their trade, and they are not going to be perfect. So it looks as if Benjamin White is still some way off getting in this England squad, which, listen, it's all right him saying they're young and they're not perfect. Connor Cody is far from perfect. Let's be right here. Like, Connor Cody is far from perfect. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, what do I know, Dinosaur hands will be sweating, said South London. Navarre said, Big C, what does James Ward-Prowse do other than run and take set pieces? Listen, Ward-Prowse, for me, yeah, I think he's all right, but he is a set piece Donny, man. Let's be honest. If he was that good, you would have seen him linked with moves, man. He had a little link with Aston Villa. Apart from that, he's got a good corner and a good free kick. He's a B-Tech Beckham. Apart from that, he's a workhorse. I don't get it. England haven't got great centre mids. I think Oxlade-Chamberlain, Ox played well yesterday for Liverpool against Atletico. He'll be pushing Ward-Prowse. But Southgate has got big favourites. We can all see it. Drew Honcho, ESR might as well play for Jamaica. Consistency, but Maguire and Stones are in. Make it make sense. Like I said, man, we know those rules don't apply to everyone. The fact is Maguire and Stones were solid in the Euros. They're definitely going to get in, So I do get it to a certain extent with certain players. More surprised that White isn't in rather than Smith Rowe. ESR has been in great form, with those attacking players available to Southgate make it a difficult task to break through. White has been great compared to Stones, who doesn't play, Mings, who's been dropped, Maguire in poor form, and Cody, who is meh. I think Mark Manbryans gets it spot on there. And like I said, Connor Cody, what has he got that Benjamin White hasn't got? Not a lot, to be honest. But hey, that's our England segment, people. Forget it. Gareth Southgate settings, people. Let's talk about Arsenal Football Club. Another one of our star players at the moment for this season has been nominated for an award. And that is this man. Aaron Ramsdale, Aaron Buffonsdale, Aaron Curried Goatsdale, Aaron the Goatsdale. FIFA have no respect for him. Man's a 74 rated silver card, people. Like, yo, them man there, when you get them in a pack, you're devastated. Man's not even a gold card, you know. But listen, Aaron Ramsdale has been nominated for Premier League Player of the Month, which is always a big bonus, a big honor, really. Someone said zoom in on his passing. I don't think they do passing on the goalkeeper stats, which is a joke, isn't it? Because he should have, amazing passing stats. But as you can see, people, Ben Chilwell, Cornet, who went to Burnley, which I was shocked that he went there. Phil Foden, Livramento at Southampton on loan from Chelsea, Aaron Ramsdale, Declan Rice and Pease, Mo Salah, and Yuri Tillemans. Man said Aaron Oxtail to us. 74 silver. I mean, even if he gets an inform, what are they going to make him? Like a 77 rated? The disrespect. Oh, yeah, I suppose that's his passing. Yeah, his kicking is 69 rated. These man got no manners. These man got absolute. They haven't seen him. I'm telling you, they're gambling on what he is. They just said, listen, Sheffield United, relegated, 74 rated silver. You know what I mean? They made him an absolute clown on this game. But let's hope he gets a decent inform. He has an 80 team of the week now. Oh, is he in team of the week already? So he's got an 80 rated team of the week. Big up penalty spot. So I believe his player of the month card, if he did win it, would have to be higher. The reality is, the way FIFA works out on the game, everyone will vote for the attacking players usually. I can't see Ramsdale winning player of the month. It'll probably be Salah. It'll be like a 92, 93 rated. It'll cost you about 1 million coins on FIFA. So, yeah. But listen, excellent that he's been nominated. I think he's got a chance of winning it. Chilwell's been in and out. Cornet scored a few. Foden has not been amazing. He's been all right. Livramento I haven't seen much of. Tillemans, I mean, he was in Thomas Partey's pocket the other day. Declan Rice is playing well. Salah can't stop scoring. So I would imagine Mo Salah will win it. But, great to see Ramsdale nominated, man. Serious. But Salah will win it. Salah got bumped last month. He should have won it last month. They gave it to Ronaldo, which we all know it's a popularity contest more than anything. FIFA can't look into 1,017 different players, but you'd expect the big players at the big clubs, Cleansing said, YouTube never lets me know you're live. Make sure you click that notification bell and click all, so it should let you know anytime I'm live. But listen, big up to Aaron Ramsdale, nominated for Player of the Month. It's going to be Mo Salah, I would imagine. And he probably deserves it, like I said, after they ripped him off last month and gave it to Ronaldo. So big up to Aaron Ramsdale. 1,000 people in the chat now. Really appreciate your support as always. Smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Footy Chat says, big up Curtis in the chat. Hope you're all good. And let's get into some more transfer news regarding Arsenal. So somebody who has been mentioned quite a few times on this stream is Alexander Isak. He's being linked with a possible move to Arsenal. Now, this has come from an interview that Isak has done himself, where he has turned around and said he is open to a Premier League move. He admits it would be nice to play in the Premier League one day in the near future. He also went on to say the Premier League has 6 of the biggest clubs in world football. I mean, I would argue with that, mate. I would not be putting Tottenham in there. Maybe he's talking about Nottingham Forest. Maybe he's talking about Everton from back in the day or someone else, But I would assume he's on about Spurs, but maybe not. Maybe he's talking about history settings, but he says the Premier League has 6 of the biggest clubs in world football, and it would be nice to play in the Premier League one day. Although things are going well for me now in Spain, I'm always open to improving. So apparently Arsenal were heavily linked on watching him last season. I know a few of you have bigged him up in the comments and said this is the striker you would like Arsenal to get. I've watched him a few times. I like him. I'm not totally convinced that the prices that are being mentioned, they're saying possibly up to £70 million to get him. So is he worth 70 million? Some of you that have seen him a little bit, let me know in the comments, people, how good you think Alexander Isak is. I think he looks good, there's potential. I'm just not sure he's worth them huge amounts of money that are being mentioned. Mr. G says, big up, Curtis. Finally back for the lives. Was working yesterday. I had a driving lesson today, so being busy, but I'm back. Big up to you. He's clinical enough for 70 million. I mean, I'm looking at his stats here. 3 goals in 9 games this season, 1 assist. Last season, he got 17 goals in 34 games. Interesting enough, he played 8 Europa League games last season and didn't score 1 goal or get 1 assist. I mean, that's not great, although he has scored 2 in 2 this year in the Europa League. So let me know what you think. Not 70 million for me, though. Jaden said, personally, I'd take him for 50, 60. I think 70 is too much. Kai TV said maximum 60 million. Anthony said, I'd love him at Arsenal, but for no more than 50 to 60 million. Just to add a little bit of context, people, he's a Swedish international, 22 years of age. He turned 22 in September. So he's a good age, lots of potential. Just how good is he moving forward? Do you consider him a big upgrade on the Lacazettes and players like that? But yeah, Arsenal apparently were watching him closely last season. Edu and Mikel Arteta apparently have had him on the radar for some time. So let's see if Arsenal make a move. I definitely think they'll be looking for a striker this summer. Brian said, I'd rather get Anthony from Ajax. He's a baller. I think he's more of a winger, isn't he? Zupa C said, I'm from Sweden. He's a tank, will be a superstar in the coming years. Okay, you're giving me a bit of hope there, So if you don't work out, Zupa, I'm coming back for you. Chris said he's good, but no way for 70 million. Way overpriced. Could get David for nearly half of that. I know a lot of people like Jonathan David. Fanil said, trust me, he's a baller. His goals isn't what you pay for. He has got everything to become a goal scorer. Fair enough. Weedy Marley said, Arsenal ain't spending 80 million when they can get Jovic for half that price. Arsenal, they love a bargain. They love the sale rack in TK Maxx, people. So they would probably love Luka Jovic at 25 million rather than Alexander Isak at 70 million. Coach Jordash said, if Pepe was 70, so is he. Is a striker too. Peter said, I'm also from Sweden. Isak is a gem. The market price is what it is, said Icy. But I think the reality is, people, there is such a lack of top quality strikers on the market right now that if anybody's got a decent striker at a good age, you're going to be paying 60, 70 million just for potential. Like I said, 60, 70 million 5 years ago was getting you a top level striker. The reality is now you're going to sign a striker that maybe hasn't got a 20 goal season under his belt, maybe hasn't played in the Champions League. Times have changed. You're paying 70 million now just for potential. R&R said 70 million isn't a lot for a 22-year-old striker with bags of potential. What about Zapata from Atalanta? I enjoyed his performance the other day. The problem is I think he's about 31, 32, so I don't expect that one to come to fruition. Faliu said, I saw him live in the Sweden national team. He is good. Yeah, I did see his goal, Harvey, against Kosovo. Absolute belter. Tio said, we need Osimhen for 70 million. Problem is, and listen, I'm a big fan of Osimhen. Napoli paid 60 million for him, 2 years ago, 18 months ago? Napoli do not hand over their best players for cheap. They would want 80, 90 million for him. He's talented and his pace is lit, said Kaziri. And Martin said, if we are spending big, just get Haaland. He said he wanted to play with Odegaard. I mean, that's not going to happen in a million years. He's definitely going to end up at a Madrid or a Man City or someone like that, Bayern Munich. Brian said 70 million is too much. Why not scout Tony and Watkins? I mean, the problem for me, I'm not convinced by Ollie Watkins at the prices that are being mentioned. Bear in mind, Aston Villa paid 32 million for him. He's now an England international. You would pay at least 50, 60 million for Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins, to me, is not better than Lacazette. I don't think, personally, Watkins is that great. And Ivan Toney, I mean, he looks okay at the moment. He's a handful. He's big, he's strong. He's not lighting up the Premier League at the moment. I know it's not easy when you play for a team like Brentford, but I'm not even convinced by Ivan Toney. What I would say with Ivan Toney, he's got qualities that we lack, like, power and height, but neither one of those, for me, are particularly big upgrades on Lacazette if Lacazette was to leave in the summer. In fact, I'd say Lacazette is technically, in terms of touch, link-up play and stuff like that, better than both of those strikers you've mentioned. So not convinced by either one of them. Darren said too much hype with Toney and Watkins, speed merchants. Not a big fan of either one of them, I can't lie. Latoro's just signed a new massive contract with Inter. I think we had one opportunity to sign him this summer, and that was that. Navari said we could get Vlahovic for less than 60 mil. Problem with him, Juventus, Atletico Madrid. I've seen somebody else also. I think it might have been Bayern Munich linked with him. So that Europe's elite are looking at him. He said, how about Haller of Ajax? Kind of believe in him. I was talking about him yesterday on the stream. Isn't it interesting that Sebastian Haller went to West Ham, had a nightmare, couldn't hit the back of the net. He looked like another Joel Linton. He's gone to Ajax. He's scoring goals in the Dutch league. He's scoring goals in the Champions League. Looks a totally different player. VK said, I'm telling you, most fans do not appreciate what we have in Lacazette. Listen, I think every Arsenal fan knows that Lacazette is a quality player. The question has always been, can he get the goals? In the Premier League, you need goals. Unfortunately, we don't have wingers like City, like Liverpool, who get 15, 20 goals a season in the league. We rely on our strikers. And unfortunately, Lacazette has not dealt with that pressure that's been on his shoulders, where we've kind of needed him to go and score, 20 goals a season or whatever. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think that's what's kind of held him back. If he was banging in 20 goals, I'm almost certain that Lacazette would have got a new contract at Arsenal, but it's a shame. I think he'll move on in the summer. Yeah, that Kareem Adeyemi, I've seen a little bit about him. He's been banging goals in, Annie, for Salzburg. I think he's got 10 goals this season already. He's only a young player. Patrick Schick, he did well in the Euros. Dr. Ill, thank you for the super chat, bro. Said Isak gives me flashes of a young Henry. I mean, that's some serious praise. I would have no problem buying him for 60 mil max and developing him for a season with Aubameyang. Anyone who gives you young Thierry Henry vibes, then there's something good there. In what you can see in him. Zupa said, I think Gerard Moreno is underrated, elite finishing. I mean, yeah, he does all right. I don't know how old is Gerard Moreno. I've never really seen Arsenal linked with him, so I suppose it's a bit of a shot in the dark. I mean, he's 29. He turns 30 in April. I mean, yeah, he is a good finisher, but I'm just not sure he would be the answer. I think Arsenal will look for a younger striker to back up Aubameyang next season. Fitzjoseph, if Osimhen is going to cost 90 million, then pay 90 million. He is next level and what we need. I have to admit, I'm a big fan of Osimhen. I just don't see Arsenal dropping 90 million pound on him. Travis says Patrick Schick has 8 and 9 in the Bundesliga. I mean, he had a very good Euros. And players usually get moves after the Euros as well. So I'm surprised. I mean, he's 25 as well. It's crazy. He only scored 9 goals last year in the whole season. He's already got 8 goals this season in 9 games. So he's took his Euros form into his season. So yeah, I do think Patrick Schick is a decent player. I can't lie. John Layout, appreciate the super chat, bro. He said, not going to lie, this is where Wenger was good with finding unknown talents. Because who was Kolo Touré before we signed him? Who was Vieira? Listen, early Wenger in particular was probably the best in the Premier League at finding those unknown talents. Like I said, Lauren, Colo Torre, Patrick Vieira didn't have a big rep. Nicolas Anelka was a young player. Thierry Henry was a winger. We turned him into the best striker. That is where he was good. Even Olivier Giroud was not a big reputation, so definitely a quality that Arsene Wenger had was picking out players. Towards the end is where it kind of let him down. Rory says Pepe for Doku swap deal. Problem with Pepe, and if he does leave people, he's on 130 grand a week. Only a certain amount of teams can afford those kind of wages. Kasiri Williams said, congratulations for the Content Creator Award, bro. And much love from Uganda. Big up to you. Appreciate your kind words, bro. Thank you very much. And most of these players are crap, said Aldrich. Jeff said Isak would be too expensive. And I don't mind Doku in our wings. I like him a lot. Listen, I think he's a very good player. Doku, very quick. He was linked with Liverpool in the summer. Nkunku from RB Leipzig would be good. It's funny, we nearly signed him when Unai Emery was manager. I think he's playing like attacking midfield or even false nine, somebody said at the moment, Nkunku. So Martin said, notifications doing me dirty. Didn't know there was a stream. Like I said, people, always click that notification bell and click all. And if it doesn't let you know, then YouTube, come on, sort it out, people. Let the people them know. Golden Boot said, Big C, how about Dakar from Leicester? I mean, they've only just signed him. I think it will be difficult to get him. And Naziri, we were linked with him a couple of months ago. And yeah, that's a possible one. That Don Zach said, big up Curtis, your speech was inspiring. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Have to speak the truth, but yeah, it was, I didn't have nothing prepared, I got there and people were like, oh, if you win, have you got speech prepared? There were people there who were pulling out paper like, yeah, I've written this. I'm reading that out. I said, listen, man, I'll freestyle straight off the top of the head and just hope it works, and people liked it, You guys may also need to enable notifications for YouTube on your phone settings. There you go. Listen to Oz. Big up to Oz, man. I appreciate that. Let the people them know. Right, before we move on, people, this will be a shorter show today, by the way, as there's not too much going off. I can't lie. Jeet said from the heart. That's the best way, man. MC Shaw settings. I thought this was a bit of a funny one, just for a bit of comedy level, people. Takahiro Tomiyasu was speaking to The Zone in Japan, and he said, let me just zoom in on this, people. He said, I thought I wasn't able to join Arsenal. I thought I was going to Spurs on deadline day. I rejected them. Arsenal asked me to join them, and I did immediately. I mean, listen, you will always endear yourself to the Arsenal fans when you say things like this. We love this. We love this, and he seems like an honest fella, although you never know, but he seems like he's telling the truth, and it's funny to me. I like that. Tottenham went for Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu said, nah, I'm all right, bro, and then Arsenal came in and he said, that's what I'm talking about. Let me join the true giants of North London. The team who wins trophies, not the team that is allergic to success. Pud said this is slightly mistranslated, by the way. Do you know what? It sounds perfect to me. Yeah. Even if he didn't mean it like that, it sounds absolutely perfect to me. Oh, dear me. Spurs, nah, not interested, mate. Petit vibes. Did you know what? There was actually a funny picture below this that I saw that I wanted to click from Angel Di Maria. He said, it hurts when you're always doing your best and then you hear you might be going to Spurs. This was when he was talking about when I think Bale went to Real Madrid, and there was talk of Di Maria being sold to Tottenham. Man said, yeah, I'd had a great season, and they're trying to flog me to Spurs, man. It's harsh. It might be lost in translation, but not to me. It sounds perfect. Man says, Hotspur? What's that? Never heard of them, fella. Never heard of them. Eat those quotes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm telling you, them quotes are absolutely perfect. Nobody wants to play for them, although obviously things might change now with the boy Conte going into Tottenham. How is that going to change things? Big up Kev in the building. Yo, yo, yo. Kev said, how about addressing the Aziz loan at Portsmouth that hasn't worked? What would you do next as he's coming back? It's crazy, isn't it? That I read that earlier, man. I mean, Aziz was being hyped as a potential first-team player at Arsenal. He's gone on loan to Portsmouth, and he's only made 2 appearances, which, I mean, he's just turned 19, so Arsenal, for me, have a serious problem when it comes to loaning out players. And this is something that they seriously need to look at improving. I think when you look at Chelsea, who for me are one of the best teams at doing this, think about Tammy Abraham's loans, think about Mason Mount, Tomori, all these players, Reece James, they've gone out on loan, they've come back, they've either got in the Chelsea team / squad, or they've sold them for big, big money, you know. Where Arsenal, I always feel like they loan out players and you're like, what's going off? You know, Reece Nelson or Aziz, people like that. The manager, Danny Cowley, has suggested that Arsenal are not unhappy with the treatment of him, although there are now rumours that he could be recalled from his loan in January due to a lack of game time at Portsmouth in League One. And he was saying at the moment, I mean, I'm reading Cowley here, he's saying, I thought Miguel was brilliant against Cheltenham last night. He was then asked why he hasn't played much, and he said he's working really hard behind the scenes. But he said it's so different to the football he knows. He's been trying to build up physically and build his intensity. He said he earned his opportunity last night. He said there's no issues with Arsenal, but he's had to work his way into the team. He also hinted that there is a huge gap between under-23 football and men's first-team football in League One. And I understand that. I can't lie. I understand that because if you ever watch these under-23 games, people, I mean, let me tell you now, and I don't want to sound like an old man when I talk like this, I would love to be starting over as a footballer in this generation, man. Yeah, especially as a striker, that you can't even tackle people in under-23s. It's light work. Yeah, I would love to be a striker in under-23 football. When I was coming up, when Kevin and man like that was coming up, you played reserve football. You know, you might play against Arsenal, who had like a Tony Adams, a Steve Bold, a Keown, and let's say Steve Bold wasn't playing. They might chuck Steve Bold in the reserves on Wednesday. You're thinking, you're right, let me play against some Arsenal youth team player. And a man like Steve Bold's playing at the back. Nowadays, 18, 19-year-olds, you can hardly tackle. It's all two-touch. The pitches are carpets. Beautiful. And I can understand Cowley, man. League One is very different. You know, these leagues it's real men's football, people. Under-23 football, I actually think they should scrap under-23 football. I can't lie. I said it a long time ago. I would scrap it. I would get rid of it. And I would bring back reserve team football, proper reserve league. But big up to Kev in the chat. Hope you're well, my bro. And we'll definitely try and sort out another show during the international break. South London's finally said, facts and Arsenal have a loan manager. How many loans? Think about the past few years. How many times have we loaned out a player and that player has come back and either, number one, gone into the Arsenal first team, great, or number two, we've sold them at an inflated price. Joe Willock is the biggest success in recent times. Went to Newcastle for 6 months, tore it up, 25 million. This season, he ain't doing nothing. It looks like we did the business with that deal. You know, Jack Wilshere went to Bournemouth, I think, came back, you know, just disappeared after that, really, at Arsenal. You know, Mavropanos went on loan, did well, but what did we get? 3.5 million. That's not a success. Guendouzi went on loan. We got 10 million for him. We should have got 20 million for him. 25. He's a French international. So I really think Arsenal, this is something Arsenal need to look at seriously about loaning out players. Think about Serge Gnabry. Why would you loan out Serge Gnabry, a ball-playing winger, young, with skill? You loan him out to West Brom, who've got Tony Pulis in charge, who's pumping long ball all over the place. How is he supposed to go there and thrive and do well? You know, how is that supposed to happen? Reece Nelson went to Germany. You thought, right, he's going to come back and flourish. Didn't happen. Didn't happen for him. Don't get me wrong. Saliba looks like it's working this time. And maybe during the international break, Tammy, that's a good idea. We could do a show on that. We'll do a loan review show and look at all the players at Arsenal out on loan, how they're doing. Joel Campbell, geez, that man, how many loans did he have before he came back? I think he had about 5 loans. Did Iwobi actually go out on loan? Forgive me if I'm wrong here, people. I always thought Iwobi was always at Arsenal. I could be wrong. I can't remember him being out on loan. I know we just sold him for big money. That's one of the best deals we ever got. I can't lie. 35 million for Iwobi. Gnabry still hurts me. Come on. We got 7 million. He's probably worth 70 million now. I think he scored on Tuesday for Bayern again. Arsenio said, we messed up when we let Sven Mislintat go. That was dumb. I personally liked Sven. I think he knew what he was talking about when it comes to these young gems, but apparently his work was very sloppy. I read that he turned up late for meetings. He didn't wear a tie. All of that. And you know what Arsenal is like, man. Very prim and proper. Jeff said Chelsea are a prime example of youth sales. They seem to know where to put their players on loan. And I think Arsenal need to be a little bit smarter with where their players go out on loan. For me, the perfect breeding ground for a young player to develop is the Championship. The Championship is one of the toughest leagues to play in for a young player. You're going to have such a wake-up call when you go into that league. So physical, so demanding. I think players like Eddie Nketiah, I think Balogun, I think these guys should have had Championship loans. I mean, I know Nketiah did go on loan to Leeds and it didn't work out. But, I think Arsenal need to be a bit smarter with their loans. Like you said, Tammy Abraham, I think he went to Villa, did really well. Next minute, he's in the England squad and stuff. Anthony said Joel Campbell had more loans than HSBC. We had a group of players, didn't we, who always seemed to go on loan, man. Who was it? We had I think we had a guy called Wellington Silva, who I'd never seen play, who just went on loan all the time. I remember Jeff Rene Adelaide. I always thought he was a very talented player. We let him go for cheap. Next minute, he went to Lyon for like £20 million. That was another one we didn't handle very well, Let's have a look. Rodney says, big up Kevin, you Arsenal legend. I'm 59 now. Been Arsenal since a young boy. Love watching Kev. Take care. God bless. Arsenal. Rodders in Blackpool. Big up to you, Rodders. Amari Bishkoff. Yeah, man. We always had them players. Rio Miyachi. Just got loaned every year until we could get work permits or to see if they were good enough. You're right, Curtis. You're right. ESR. Yeah. ESR to Huddersfield. And I think he got player of the season that year. And I remember the Huddersfield manager saying, because they were in a relegation battle that year, but he was saying that ESR went from a boy to a man in a relegation scrap at Huddersfield in the Championship. And look at the difference in the player. Why haven't we loaned out Balogun this year if we weren't going to use him? Isak Jovic or Vlahovic for change for Lacazette? I would go Vlahovic. I like him. I do. I probably need to see a bit more of Isak. Jovic, I'm not totally convinced. I can't lie, man. Oh, the Huddersfield. So Cowley was the Huddersfield manager. He's now the Portsmouth one. So that's where his Arsenal connection is. Henry Lansbury, yeah. I met him a few times when he was at Forest. But yeah, something that definitely Arsenal need to look into moving forward, man. These loans, we've got to work it better, be a little bit smarter. Get your comments and questions in, people. We'll do 5 minutes of comments, then I'm wrapping up, people. We've been on for about nearly 50 minutes. There isn't too much news, to be honest, today. So I don't want to force the content on you that's not there. But as I said, get your comments in. We'll have a bit of a chat. Jorginho season said Vlahovic ain't going to Arsenal. You know what? I remember people saying that about Thomas Partey. Oh, you won't get Thomas Partey. He's at Atletico. And next minute he was there. You never know. You never know. Sometimes it's about timing. Do other big clubs need a striker? Do they have the cash? Do you remember that Argentine keeper we had who was always on loan? Sold him recently, forgot his name. I think it's best social DRG. I don't mention his name because it seems to wind people up. I think Arsenal beating Villa the other week and Ramsdale being in such good form has made everything a lot easier when it comes to Emi Martinez, you know. Oh, yeah, like you said, Coach Jordas, massive shout out to Sergio Aguero. How long is he out for? I read it. I think he's out for 3 months. He had breathing difficulty on the pitch for Barcelona, and he's got some sort of breathing / issue with his heart, I believe. Sergio Aguero, for me, an absolute legend. Do you think he's top 5 Premier League strikers of all time? Yeah, I mean, he's up there. He's right up there. It's a debate we can have for another day, but yeah, he's right up there. 3 months he's out for, so get well soon, man. I hope we see him back on the pitch. If he said, I'm happy we got Ramsdale, but fans need to calm down with the hype of the lad. Listen, you know Arsenal. One thing we don't have in the Arsenal fan base is balance. If a player is playing bad, he's the worst footballer the world's ever seen, and they want him to leave. And if he's playing well, you're the best footballer we've ever seen. You should win the Ballon d'Or, and we want you to have a 5-year deal. There's no balance. As much as I'm bigging up Ramsdale now, well, listen, when we signed Ramsdale, I wasn't convinced, right? Based upon what I'd seen previously and things like that. What I'll say with Ramsdale is fantastic at the moment. One of the biggest hurdles that we're going to see with Aaron Ramsdale is going to be how well he reacts when he starts conceding goals, if he makes a mistake that leads to a goal, when he's having times of difficulty. We're seeing Aaron Ramsdale where everything's working. Every time he puts his arm out, he makes a save. You know what I mean? He's saving everything. There'll be a time a shot goes under his arm, he drops a catch, he concedes a penalty. Unfortunately, that will happen at some stage. And it's how he reacts in times of difficulty. You know, that's where you'll really see how good Aaron Ramsdale is. And I know that might come across as a little bit pessimistic, but that's the reality of football. You know, a coach said to me once, he picks players sometimes based upon how good a player is when he's not playing well, which is a good way to look at a player. We're all great when we're great, but when you're bad, can you still offer me something that justifies you being selected? Craig said, Curtis, I was one of them, so I hold my hand up as well. Yeah, listen, we hold our hands up. You know me, people. The videos are there. I can't lie. I was not happy with 30 million Ramsdale. At the moment, he's been fantastic. I'll give him all the credit. I hope he keeps it up. But like you said earlier, keep it in context. I saw a picture today on Twitter. They said, who's the best goalkeeper in the Premier League? And I think they put up Ederson, Alisson, Mendy, and Ramsdale. And I'm like, bro, he's in great form and I'm all for it. But I'm not putting him in that conversation right about now. You know, he's been at Arsenal for what, 10 games? Let's have that conversation when he's been here for 7-8 months, you know. Form is one thing, but doing it over a long period of time, that's where you really judge a player. I said we still need that green screen. I definitely owe Ramsdale a green screen. Let's get him on the screen for tomorrow. John Layup, big up to you, bro, said, yeah, Wellington Silva. I remember he was at Bolton, ripping man in the Championship, but never got played. But yeah, sometimes it was to do with work permits. That's why they were on loan sometimes. I believe with this this Brexit situation, that it makes it easier now for clubs in England to get players from South America without having to go through so much difficulty. So I would like to think that the fact that Edu worked with the Brazilian national team, I'd love to see a couple of Brazilian gems come to Arsenal, you know? It's a market that's untapped at times. Why don't Arsenal go for Jude Bellingham? I mean, listen, Jude Bellingham ain't going to come to Arsenal, let's be honest. He's being linked with Liverpool for like 70 million at the moment. Gary said, seen chat today about Guendouzi to Newcastle. They can have him for a cheeky 40 million. I mean, I don't get that. I thought Marseille had a clause that basically enabled them to buy him, and now he's being linked with Newcastle. Is that clause not as definitive as we all thought, people? Harman said, hey, we still streaming 4 hours late. Happy Diwali, people. Big up, Big C. Hey, big up to everyone celebrating. Hope you have a great day, and peace and blessings, people. BX Gunner, Ramsdale giving the Leicester fans the art is perfect green screen. I'd have to look for a good Ramsdale picture. Carlio said, as I'm a Wimbledon fan, I'm happy for Ramsdale. I loved it when Wimbledon fans, you're just a ish Ramsdale at Leno during the Carabao Cup. Ramsdale was at Wimbledon, wasn't he? I saw he watched one of their games the other weekend. South London's finest said, let the media gas up Ramsdale. It's for Arsenal fans to keep it level-headed. That's easier said than done in our fan base, man. Let me tell you that. We're not the most level-headed of fan base. Alan said, sell Hector Bellerin. Who do you think is a suitable replacement? I mean, listen, they've bought their replacement. Let's be totally honest. Tomiyasu is the replacement. At the moment, he's doing well. And I think they'll continue with him. I don't see Arsenal looking for a right back unless it's a younger one, maybe as cover or something like that. So, do you know what? It's interesting. On Twitter, again, as I said, not much balance. There are a lot of Arsenal fans having meltdowns. Oh, how the hell is Smith Rowe not in the England squad? Bro, it's not that time yet. We don't have to rush it. Like I said, who do you drop him for? I can't see any obvious player there that ESR should get in ahead of. Like I said, he's playing left wing for Arsenal. Does he get in ahead of Grealish, Rashford and Sterling? No, he doesn't. Let's be honest. And in the 10 role, he's not going to get in over Mount or Foden. So his time will come. His time will come. There's no rush. January, who needs to go? I would say El Neni, Eddie Nketiah, Kolasinac for me. Those three I would get rid of in January. Eddie's out of contract, so is El Neni in the summer. If you could get any money for them, I'd let them go. Kolasinac, all three of them are out of contract in the summer. So if you could get any money for them, I would take it for those three. I think in the summer, you will probably see Callum Chambers or Rob Holding moved on as well. One of the two. The only thing is Holding signed a 4-year deal, so maybe Chambers would be the one who was sacrificed. All of them. Yeah, Pablo Mari as well. I mean, he's a bit all over the place. Balogun should definitely go on loan. You know, no point signing a contract and then playing under 23. Surely you can go to a championship club. Brian said Benjamin White is the only one with a case for the England spot. Agreed. I think ESR, go and play England under 21s and chill. Levan, there's no Europa League watch-along tonight. I'm going to take a night off. We've done 2 Champions League watch-alongs the last 2 nights. So I'm going to chill tonight. I don't even really watch the Europa League games, to be honest. So next watch-along will be Saturday. We'll be doing the Manchester Derby, which is, I believe, a 12:30 kickoff. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday, Manchester Derby. And then obviously Arsenal 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. We'll do a few more minutes and I'll be out of it. Luca said, Curtis, why is Smith Rowe not in the England squad? For me, he's not quite ready to be in that England squad. Not that he's not good enough, but I believe that the players ahead of him are better than him at the moment. We need to be honest. You know, we can't just say because they're our players, they're better than everyone else. It doesn't work like that. You know, Gareth has no attachment to Arsenal. So I'm not overly bothered that Smith Rowe is not in the England squad. His time will come. He'll get there. Can we get 1,000 likes? We've got 1,220 people in the chat. Great support as always. Can we get 1,000 likes? And subscribe, people. We are about 200 away from 38k. So we're on our way. We're moving nicely, people. What do you think about Eddie Howe to Newcastle? I mean, you got the richest owners in the world. You buy a football club and you've got no idea who you're going to hire as your new manager. Like, they were going for Fonseca. They were going for, who were they going for? Frank Lampard. I think they wanted Conte. They then could have probably got Unai Emery, but didn't, say what he wanted to hear. And you end up with Eddie Howe, which I'm sure when they bought the club, they were thinking they were going to get someone more glamorous. It's a big test for Eddie Howe. People forget he was relegated at Bournemouth. I think he's a decent manager, but I think he's probably a stopgap manager for Newcastle. They've offered him 18 months. Steady the ship, keep them up, sign a few in the summer, give it another year, then they'll go for that blockbuster manager in a year or so, I think. Kev said ESR and White need to keep being consistent. That is it. You have to put Gareth Southgate in a position where he has to select you. I think Benjamin White, as he said he wants to be called, will get in this England squad eventually, because I look at those centre backs and I think I'm very confident that Benjamin White is better than some of those players. Mings is on the bench for Villa. Eventually, he may get him out. Connor Cody, I've said many times, I don't think he's better than Benjamin White at all. I'm surprised that Cody gets in ahead of him, but maybe the fact of his experience, and I think he's Wolves captain, sometimes those things play a part. You need leaders in a squad. And like I said, with ESR, there'll be a squad where maybe Grealish gets a knock and or Rashford's injured, and that might be the way that you have to get in the squad. Once you're in that squad, it's down to you to keep that shirt. So I don't think there's any need for a meltdown on social media that some fans are having. Oh my God, I can't believe ESR isn't in the squad. His time will come. He's just got to be patient. Tomori, for me, I mean, listen, I know we say you've got to keep doing well, but he must be thinking, what have I got to do? This guy had a great season 2 years ago at Chelsea, got in the Champions League. He goes to AC Milan, one of the biggest clubs in Europe. They finished top 4, get in the Champions League. He's playing in the Champions League, and you're telling me he can't get in the England squad. I don't know what the problem is with Tomori, but Southgate is not feeling him. And Southgate himself was a centre-back, so he should recognise a top-quality centre-back more than anyone. James said, do you feel like we will finish top 4 this year? In all honesty, big up Curtis from New York. What I would say is this, James. Just win games of football. And I know that sounds very simplistic, and you might think, give me an answer. Listen, Arsenal are capable of finishing top 4 this season. But a lot of things are going to have to fall into place for that to happen, let's be honest. City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United have got better squads than Arsenal. So if they perform to their potential, it's very difficult for Arsenal to finish above any of them. However, we know that Manchester United have a certain manager that gives you an opportunity of possibly getting them out of that top 4, because we know he is not the elite manager that Chelsea, Liverpool, and Manchester City have. To me, I look at it like, just stay in the race. Stay in the race, Arsenal. If there's 10 games to go and we're 5th and we're 4 points off 4th, or we're 2 points off 4th, or we're 3 points ahead of 4th, be in that race, handle your business, and see what happens. As I said, people, we only have one player who is currently unavailable in the entire squad, and that is Granit Xhaka. How many years have you watched Arsenal and we've had mini injury crisis going on? You're like, oh my days, we've got no right back, we've got no centre back, we've got no centre mid, injuries galore. This year, we've got no Europe, which I'm disappointed, of course. We're not in Europe. However, the positive is no midweek game. Players are fit. Puds, as you said, yeah, Kieran Tierney is not in full training, but he is in light training at the moment. But in terms of no training at all, Xhaka is the only one. As you've seen this week, teams are playing Champions League. Man United went to Italy, tough game, These clubs are having to travel all over Europe. As we get to the business end of the season and these clubs are still in Europe, we will really benefit from being able to just sit back Monday to Saturday, chill, train, keep our players fit and available, and hopefully top 6 and a domestic cup would be a very good season. But let's aim for that top 4. Why not? Why not go for it? There's nothing to be afraid of, but it's still going to be difficult. Let me be honest. I still think there are question marks. Can Arteta churn out those performances, week after week for Arsenal to get top 4? But they should be aiming for it, definitely. If we said we have no Europe, we should take advantage of that. 100%. 100%. H7, did you see Partey post-match interview after the Villa game? He said, we need to play with the same intensity every game. He's putting pressure on Arteta to not change the system. I like that. Put pressure on him. Partey, you've won, you've been a winner. You've been at Atletico. So the system's working. Keep it going. YGK, do you really miss Europa League games midweek? Listen, I just enjoy watching Arsenal and doing content and going to the games. This year, now I'm making content. I would have enjoyed, going to Dundalk away in Ireland and having a couple days in Ireland and watching Arsenal and doing a vlog. I'm probably more talking from a selfish point of view as a content creator. I don't really particularly like the Europa League, but the reality is that's where we need to be at the moment until we can get into that Champions League. What do you think of Pepe? Talented. There's something lacking at the moment, and I used to put a heck of a lot of the blame on Arteta. I think now you've got to look at the player and the manager and say, why are we not seeing the same player that was performing in the French league? Don't get me wrong. It could be simply that he just doesn't hack the Premier League, and it happens. Not every player that comes to the Premier League is a success, and it doesn't always mean that player is a bad player. I remember Forlan at Man United couldn't really score on a consistent basis. He went to Spain. I think he won the Golden Boot one season in Spain. So Pepe's got to sort himself out quick. What's his best position? Is he a left winger? Is he a right winger? Does he have to play a bit more central rather than hugging the touchline? Do we have to get him higher up the pitch? Does he need a fullback that overlaps him? I don't know. Does he have to play in a team that plays counter-attack? I do not know. I'm at a point with Pepe where I'm like, I don't know how you get the best out of him at the moment. I think maybe you play him as more of a right forward than a right winger and try and get him to score goals, because I think one of Pepe's best attributes is he can finish. What I don't think he's great at is getting the ball on the halfway line and dribbling at speed. I just don't think he suits that. Gunnar Vettel said Pepe is not good enough. We should sell him. I think they'll have a question over him in the summer. Darren said Thursdays have hindered the weekend league preparation. Yeah, man. Bob said Pepe for St. Maximum swap deal. I mean, Newcastle wouldn't take that. Let's be real. They love St. Maximum. Polymation play him in his best position. But what is his best position, people? What is Pepe's best position? How come Nicolas Pepe was being linked with Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Man United? Arsenal get him 72 million. We're expecting a world beater of a winger. Yeah, I'm watching, for example, Damari Gray, 1.5 million, perform at a higher level than him. So eventually we do have to say eventually Pepe's got to take some responsibility himself. He's played enough games for Arsenal for us to say, all right, we can see that he's a top player, but maybe Arteta doesn't quite use him right. He's been picked a number of times. When he's one-on-one with the fullback, that's got nothing to do with the manager. That's got to do with, are you a good winger? Can you get a good cross into the box? Are you going to score goals? Are you dangerous? Do you make life difficult for your fullback? Are you helping your fullback enough? I just question Pepe's mentality. I'm not sure. I look at him and I think he needs a wake-up call, man. Someone needs to wake him up. I'm not sure how we get the best out of him. H7 said Pepe's mentality is poor. Maybe he can do the Lacazette role. Pud said, yeah, Pepe in at Lacazette's current position may be hard to drop. You can't drop Lacazette in that position. Never. While he's playing like that. He's playing outstanding. Pepe's not going to give you what Lacazette is giving you at the moment. Kev said Pepe, if he doesn't get more intensity in his game, then he'll be sold. 2 years left after this season. And like I said before, you can't allow a £72 million player to run into the last 2 years of his contract, because anybody that thinks, maybe I'll take Pepe now, how much would Arsenal get for him? 30? You'd be lucky to get 50% of what you paid for Pepe. Also, you've got to bear in mind he's on 130 grand a week. If he was, let's say, a team in France wanted him back, there's only a few clubs in the French league that are going to pay that kind of wage. And would those clubs want him? So he definitely got he's got to sort himself out. Is he too comfortable? Sometimes you got to think with these players. They go through all that grind of coming from the lower divisions, and all of a sudden you're at Arsenal. I'm on 130 grand a week. I'm earning millions of pounds. I've got the big car, the big house, the jewelry, the wife, the lifestyle. Does football sometimes become secondary with these players, where that hunger disappears out of them and you've come from such difficulty? It's like, yo, I'm here now. I'm chilling. Football is, I play football, but I'm about what's going on over here. That's the thing. That's the thing. So I'm not sure. I could be misjudging him completely there, but like you said, and everyone always says, there's a lack of bravery on the ball with Nicolas Pepe. He's just not direct enough for me. So they're going to have a decision to make in the summer. 2 years to go. I think they will have to give him a new deal or sell him, and I think they'll be leaning more towards letting him go. Sean said he's the one player that doesn't quite fit in the new direction, and apparently his best years ahead of him. He needs a move for himself. It's crazy, isn't it? You know, it kind of looks like with Pepe, like, yeah, it just doesn't add up with Mikel Arteta. You know, even Unai Emery, you've got to bear in mind, people, Unai Emery didn't want Pepe. He was never identified by the club as the winger that we want. We wanted, Unai Emery did an interview where he said, I wanted a player that was dangerous at dribbling, that could draw defenders to him, because what that does, it creates space for other players. He wanted Wilfried Zaha. We all know that. And I think Zaha was the player we should have bought. You know, because when you play against Zaha, you cannot afford for your fullback to be one-on-one with him. So teams double up with him. That then creates space for other players, and that's how you get so much joy. With Pepe, I look at fullbacks at the moment, and I think they look like they don't mind being one-on-one with Nicolas Pepe, and that's the problem. Pepe has to be more dangerous. He has to scare the opposition. He has to be a danger man. He has to make that left-back shout at his left-back to get back and help him. And until that happens, we're not going to see the best of Nicolas Pepe. I hope he's still got a future at Arsenal. I really do, because there is talent there, but he needs to wake up. Amo said Zaha would have been quality. I mean, the guy was desperate to join Arsenal. Boyhood Arsenal fan. You know, it was made. We actually needed the left winger more than the right winger at the time as well. But it was the financial implications. You know, Palace wanted the majority of the money up front. Lille were willing to do buy now, pay later business, you know, cash generator business with Pepe. So, yeah, hopefully we get to see the best of him moving forward. Rafinha would be a good one. You know, it'd be very expensive. Leeds are going to want big money for him. He's probably their best player. Pepe slows it down too much, whereas Zaha is very direct. I think you want wingers that can play at both tempos. They can slow the game down, but when the game needs speeding up, they can play at that tempo. And I think Nicolas Pepe at times struggles to play at both those speeds, you know. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with him. Long way to go in the season. You never know. Maybe he proves himself. People, I've been on for an hour and 12 minutes. I am out of here. Thank you very much for tuning in. 1,250 people. Like Kevin Campbell said, if you didn't hit that like on the way in, smash that like on the way out, people. Big up to everyone. Happy Diwali to everyone. Hope you have a great day. And as Gaurav said, happiness and prosperity to you and your family. Appreciate your kind words. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. Stay safe. I will be back at the usual time of 2 p.m. tomorrow. And the Talk is Cheap show is out now on AFTV for anybody that wants to tune in and have a look at that. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bless.